We got a race heating up here. Tires are spinning. Companies are trying to get to the finish line. Sony and Nikon, in my opinion, seem to be leading the mirrorless race. Canon's driving like a little tricycle, and they're pedaling, and they're actually gaining some momentum, but they're gonna fall short. They should have entered the boxcar derby thing with their parents instead of the real race with the adults. Whatever, they try. So in today's video, I just want to compare some key differences between the Sony and the Nikon system, and who, in my opinion, is headed in the right direction. Will one be crippled?
Nikon, your autofocus continues to latch onto an invisible hamster. Why'd they do it?
So we're gonna try this Cine D thing again with Peter's. I'm so sorry, Peter Greg, I messed that thing up somehow. It didn't change anything, and I don't know why. I think Panasonic just nailed the white balance, but maybe now in artificial light, it'll be different. So in good light, in the sunlight, Panasonic nails it. Let's see, does it change? I love this thing. So basically, Sony released their A7 III kind of showing off to the world and the other camera companies. It was almost a threat. They're just like, look what we can do. We're actually going to lose money on this, but look what we can do. They made it so cheap and so good. It was like, it shocked the world. And then the Nikon Z6 comes out. If that Sony didn't exist, we'd be looking at the Nikon like, holy shit. Look what they just did. They just threw ice cream in my mouth, and it was good for me. Healthy ice cream. Thank you. Now I know I've been a little hard on Nikon, and I'm sorry, but you deserve it. So does every camera company. I'm a wrath demon of camera companies, and I'm in there to infect and disassemble and make sure nobody buys anything. It's a good way to make affiliate link money. Just insult every camera company and then post links for them. It's a reverse psychology thing I'm working on. It's not going so well, but it'll pick up. So basically, the Nikon Z6 and the Sony A7 III are very similar cameras. They're almost like the same thing. Nikon basically copied them, and they did a good job, but there's some key differences. I want to explain the serious advantages that may affect their lives in the future, the likes of which we've never imagined in our worst nightmares. First thing I want to say, I do believe Sony has handicapped themselves with that E-mount, and they're kicking themselves. They are kicking themselves in the stomach right after their meal just to punish themselves. You see it in the IBIS. I see it now. The Nikon is superior to the Sony. Sony is just absolute horse rides, even when you're walking. It's terrible. Like, I don't know why it's so bad. Maybe my A9, my friend's A9 that I've been testing, maybe there's something wrong with it and the Sony G Master 16-35. Like, they're not speaking to each other, and it's very shaky and pretty much unusable. I would never use that camera anymore unless it's just like this on a tripod. When you look at a full-frame Sony camera, their sensor, like the corners are cut off by the mount. Like, it's so tiny, that mount. We never knew. I thought it was a marketing gimmick at first, with Nikon coming out with their giant condom mount. And they're like, look at us. You can't even handle this mount. And then Sony came out and they were just like, no, that doesn't matter at all. It's not even relevant, actually. They had a meeting about it. Alright, no need to panic, everyone, but Nikon has come out with their mount. It's big. It's really big. It's intimidating. And it's fast. It's wide and impressive. But we have to sell cameras here. And let's convince the public that smaller is better. What do we got? Any ideas? Smaller mount means smaller lenses. Sometimes. Yeah, the thing is, it doesn't. You dickhead. So, anybody else? We could say our mount weighs less, makes the cameras a lot lighter. How about that? I wish you weighed less, Greg. You're fat. You're fired. Anyone else? How about having the smaller mount allows us for more buttons on the front left. A lot of people hold their hands on the camera instead of the lens. I do. Anybody else do that? Nobody does that, Anthony. We're sick of your shit. Now, Sony is telling us that the mount size doesn't matter and that they designed it from day one, but I think they messed up. You can see the corners are cut off. That sensor has no room to move, and their IBIS is showing it. They can't do it. Whereas Nikon, with this giant mount, they can rock the boat. They can rock that boat. So, in my opinion, Sony has handicapped themselves, even though they say they haven't. I think in the future, their IBIS is not going to get any better. Why would it? It can't move. That sensor can't move. When you consider all the things that Nikon does worse than Sony right now, and there are plenty, they can fix these things. I just watched the Nikon Z6 review by DP Review. Links somewhere. The two negatives that came out were the autofocus sometimes just goes berserk, like a wild man looking for blueberries in the forest, and it just loses the subject sometimes. I think that was mainly in low light, but just sometimes you're on it and then boom, you're on that background like a Panasonic. Bullshit, it's unacceptable. And then the audio preamps are like super terrible. They're hissy, like worse than old Canons from the 1950s. That's terrible. We need good preamps. For people like myself, I plug a little lav mic right into my camera. It's very convenient. I don't use the shotgun mic. I might. So if you use that Rode VideoMic Pro with the boost, or that new deity that everybody's been sent for free, not me, when will I be a big channel? People will send me stuff to review, and I'll throw it out. I'll throw it right out and give it a bad review. Take that. That's why they don't send it to me. But if you have that 20 dB boost on the mic, then you can lower the preamps of the Nikon, and then you're good to go. But if you're using a lav like me, I can't use a Nikon then. It would sound like shit, but they can improve that over time. They can listen. If they do listen to their customers, then it's like, okay, let's put in a little upgrade to that. They can fix these things. They're not major issues. The autofocus can be fixed. They can improve the algorithms so logarithmically that nobody could even imagine the possibilities of what's in focus or out of focus. I'm rambling. I'm not even saying anything. And Sony has been releasing some statements lately that have been triggering alarm bells in my mind. They're saying they want to stick with the small bodies. They're not into growing them. I think if it's the only complaint about Sony cameras, other than the flippy screen not flipping, is that they're kind of tiny. And Sony thinks they're doing a good thing by making them tiny and light, which is nice, but my Panasonic is much more comfortable to hold in the hand. They are kind of tiny, and if you have a tiny body, you overheat. They overheat sometimes. Why not just make a bigger body? I don't think anybody would care, as long as it's not like too much heavier. Just make a little bit bigger. There's nothing wrong with that. I thought that would improve the IBIS too, but that mount handicaps it. They're handicapped, like a child who licks ice cream off a dog. And this whole 8K nonsense, I was gonna make a separate video about this, but I figured we just get it out of the way right now. Sony ain't coming out with an 8K camera anytime soon. Sony has developed a sensor that is capable of 8K footage. That doesn't mean that they have a camera capable of taking that footage and giving it to you. There's so many things in the mix. It's like, it's just capable. This happened years ago. I used to follow the slow motion sites a lot to find the best slow motion camera, and Samsung had released this, like it was a rumor that their sensor, why am I speaking in chopped up, karate chop, vegetable language? They were saying that Samsung's coming out with a phone that's capable of 480 frames per second at 1080p. And I was like, holy shit, that's mind-blowing. It's this new sensor stacked in all kinds of Samsung technology alien shit. And it never happened. The sensor's capable of it, but the phone wasn't. They couldn't take that, process it, cool it down, and then deliver it. That's what Sony's not able to do, I don't think. They're gonna have their 8K capable sensor. Maybe they can downsample it for super 4K video. But there's no way right now they're gonna jump to 8K. That's silly. All these rumor sites are crazy. Why are they even reporting it? It's like, what a sensor's capable of. I bet the EOS R is capable of 15K. But for right now, I would say Sony's in the lead for what they got, their lens lineup. Nikon still has to catch up with their new lenses, and the adapted lenses don't seem to focus as well, and they get super loud. They got crunching bones in there. The dwarves that Leica uses to pull the autofocus motors with big chains, they're dying in the Nikon cameras. They're getting all crunched up, and you can hear it. You can't hide it, Nikon. And to be fair to Sony, I think their executives are smarter than Nikon's. Nikon just seems to be run, they make terrible decisions at times. They have the capability, and then they do weird shit. Nikon is out here bragging that they have the potential within their hearts to make 0.6 aperture lenses. And I'm thinking, like, how are you gonna focus that? What's gonna be in focus? Focus? Fuck my life. You're gonna have 7 mustache hairs in focus, that's it. If you're lucky, that's on a good day. Like, what's in focus? Who needs that wide? And how big is that thing gonna be? How heavy? How expensive? Sony comes out and they're like, yeah, we could probably do that, but we never would. We're not that dumb. We'd make it 1.2, maybe. We could, by the way. So it just seems like Sony's more practical and they understand the business model more. It's like, yeah, nobody would want that. I don't know, Nikon's lost. They're lost children of the sewers. But they'll find some food. The rats will guide them. So I don't know, I was getting all excited about the Z6 once I saw that the IBIS was so much better, and then they have the 20mm f1.8 on the way in 2019. So I was like, there it is. There's your vlogging setup. It'll be stable. You got your blurry background if you do it here, and then you can stop down outside. You got a wide angle, all in one lens. Pretty cheap, probably light. It's like, I was excited, and then the audio preamps kind of ruined my life. And then the autofocus, you don't know if it's gonna work. And then the flipper screen doesn't flip anywhere that I need it to flip. When will they do it? So I don't know, Sony seems like the smarter company, but they're handicapped by that mount. I don't care what they say. I don't care how they try to spin that mount. You can't fit that sensor in. It's the perfect APS-C mount. But man, their IBIS is never going to be good enough. Maybe they'll come out with a way, technologically speaking, to digitally warp the mount. But I think they're screwed. That sensor can't move enough. And they've already built all these lenses for E-mount. They've built their system. They can't change it now. So I don't know what direction they're going to head. And they're not putting any stabilization in any lens ever. There's one that I would use, the wide angle. What are they going to do? Use a gimbal? Shut up. I know it's an easy solution. I make life difficult sometimes. So what are your thoughts for the future? Who's the better off company right now for mirrorless? Nikon or Sony? Which would you rather buy? Post it down below. There will be affiliate links everywhere to help your decision making. And thank you so much for watching the video. Thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you in the next one.